49.96 indoors for Femke Bol. That's what we're talking about right here and right now. And to be honest, guys, I was not even planning to make this video before today. I was only planning to make my grand return to the track verse with a little reaction to Abby Steiner's 300 at Millrose, which I still do plan on doing later today. But when I got out of bed this morning, the first thing I saw was that Femke Bol would be running a 400 and a 200 over at a World Athletics Silver Tour in France, and she busted out a sub-50 on her first 400 of the season, only her second all-purpose race of the season. And she is setting records left and right now. It's almost like how we consider, ironically, Sydney McLaughlin setting world records almost every time she touches the track. Now, Femke Bol has only set one world record to this point, and that was the 500 meters back in Boston last weekend with a 65.63, which we'll break down a little bit more in detail later because we don't have a full race video, or at least not that I've seen, of Femke's 400 meters from this morning or this afternoon if you're from France and the European front. But we saw that 500 meters, and one thing that really stuck out to me about that race was just how strong she looked in her form. And I remember there was a poll put out. I don't remember which track Instagram it was, but it was a couple of years ago once Femke had broken onto the world scene, and they had pitted her against Eliud Kipchoge in terms of who has some of the greatest running form of all time. And I looked at that, I was like, how are you going to put Femke Bol, an athlete that has earned nothing more than an Olympic bronze and has yet to really break any major records or cement any major legacy, to Eliud Kipchoge, who is widely considered the GOAT of all distance running? They're very different athletes. They've got very different styles, and one of them is far more established than the other. But now, when we see how far Femke Bol has come since then, not to take anything away from where she was, that was when she ran that 52.03 at the Olympics to come in third. And though she has yet to break that personal best, she has done a number of things to give you very clear indicators that she is poised to make great leaps and bounds in the 400-meter hurdles. And if you consider where she was at, I am pretty sure that when she picked the event up as just a 19-year-old in Doha, her personal best was 55.32. And you consider how far she has come in comparison to Sydney McLaughlin at the time. Now, let's remember this. Sydney McLaughlin, though she has also improved by great margins since taking that silver at Doha 2019, she has had this coming for a long time. Sydney McLaughlin is the American prodigy in the sprint world, and it's almost no surprise to see that she is relishing almost every moment, despite some interesting season openers that Bobby Kersey sets her out, like we saw at the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix, the same meet that Femke Bol ran the 500, Sid ran the 60 meters and didn't exactly make it for the final. It's almost similar to what we saw how she was running some 100 hurdles back in 2021. But the main conversation surrounding Femke Bol is, yes, she's a great athlete, but she's no Sydney McLaughlin. And Femke herself has acknowledged that at certain points in her career, that's been the case. Like last year, she got second at the World Championships in Eugene, but was nowhere near Sydney McLaughlin. Though she has made a lot of progress since then, she has acknowledged that as far as the 400-meter hurdles go, that if she wants to make a run at Sydney McLaughlin, if she wants to get that gold medal with the dynamite standing in her way, if you will, that she's going to have to try and maybe take more strides in between hurdles just to allow herself to go at a faster cadence. So that's just some of what there is to consider there. But we've projected a lot into the future. Let's break down a little bit more of what we saw today. And that 49.96, as we mentioned, was the number 4 time all-time indoors. But what she also did was run that 200 meters, as I believe I alluded to earlier, and she came in at 22.87, which is an exact second off of the indoor world record, which is at 21.87. But for Femke Bol to do that, That's her first time indoors or outdoors going sub-23. And we've said throughout this video thus far that, hey, there's been multiple signs that Femke Bol is not only a talented athlete, but that she's capable of challenging Sydney McLaughlin. But perhaps the one thing that separates those two is raw speed. Because, again, we've known what Sydney McLaughlin can do over the shorter distances. We saw her do it over the 300 flat and the 300 hurdles indoors. But Femke Bol is an athlete that has so much untapped potential in the speed department, as we saw today, not just in the 400, but in the 200. And I think that if both of these athletes, if you put them together in any race, whether it be a 400 flat or a 400 hurdles, it could play out to be the next Sydney and Dalilah. Because unfortunately, it seems that in all of this hubbub that has been transpiring between Sydney McLaughlin and Femke Bol, that Dalilah Muhammad, who is kind of entering the latter stages of her career, might end up being left out of the conversation as younger athletes start to enter the international picture, namely Britton Wilson. She'll be one to watch for the USA. But when you consider Sydney and Femke, both of them have split multiple sub-49 4x400 meter relay splits. So you have to think that both of them have a real good shot of at least getting a low 48 if they decide to both train for the flat 400. Now, Femke Bol has a lot more unfinished business in the 400 meter hurdles, so I expect that she will continue to prioritize that event in this 2023 outdoor season. But it'll be interesting to see what happens for the rest of her indoor season and whether or not she can attack that 49.59, which is the current standing indoor world record for the 400 meters held by Jarmila Kratochvílová of the Czech Republic, well, Czechoslovakia at the time. But it's interesting because the three times that stand ahead of Femke Bol's 49.96 at the moment all came from periods of time where athletes from Eastern Europe were heavily speculated as to having some doping allegations. I'm not confirming nor denying these allegations because, again, they're allegations. But Femke Bol, as far as we are concerned, is a clean, determined athlete who is poised to only improve upon these marks because, again, only her second race of the season. And, yeah, I'm really, really excited to see what she has in store. I hope you got a lot of good stirring of the pot, perhaps, out of this video, if not a little. If this is your first time here for a track video, welcome on in. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you stay tuned for more track and trumpet related content. And yeah, have a great day, everybody. I'll see you guys back for Millrose, and if you enjoyed, leave a like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more content. See you guys in a few hours. Peace.